So my next artist on the Growth X Media channel is Rowlan. He's actually a hip hop artist coming out of California. He's been featured on the Gary Vee vlogs, the podcast, as well as on the Gary Vee Monday to Monday playlist that's available on Spotify as well as iTunes. I really enjoyed his music, which is why I asked him to be on this segment. So thank you, Rowlan, and we'll start after this.
A born hustler, mom engraved me with the words. She always told me I was perfect, son, go get what you deserve. There's winners and there's losers, stay upon the form again.
So we have Thomas Rowlan, or AKA Rowlan, with me on Growth X Media. This is one of many podcasts as well as YouTube videos that are going to be coming out. So we're going to jump right into it because he's a busy guy. Tell us about your experience with the move from Cape Cod to California and how has it affected your growth?
Yeah, so I mean, that move for me was probably the single biggest thing that I could have done to further my career. It was a big culture shock for sure. I was from a small town, and then I moved out to one of the biggest cities in the U.S. So it was definitely a huge culture shock for me, and it definitely broadened my perspective and gave me a different outlook on things. So I think that was a huge jump in my career, and it was definitely something that pushed me out of my comfort zone. And I encourage everybody to live outside of their comfort zone. So I will say that was the best move that I could have done for myself, and it was necessary because I had to meet certain people and I had to cross certain bridges when I did. So it was a great experience. Definitely something outside of my comfort zone, but outside of the comfort zone is where I like to stay.
Perfect. So Rowlan, tell us about a typical day in your life. What's the first thing you do when you get up in the morning, and then last thing you do when you go to sleep?
So my day, typically I wake up, I go to sleep very late. So like typically my sleep schedule has been really bad lately. So it's been like, not really bad, but by society standard, it's very like out there.
Yeah.
I've been going to sleep at like anywhere from like 6 a.m. to like 9 a.m. and I'll wake up at like 12 p.m. So like it's just like a crazy little sleep schedule I have going on right now. But it's just how I've been most productive in terms of creation and things like that. So I'll wake up and typically I'll grab some coffee and hit the gym. Typically hit the gym first, and after I hit the gym, I'll go back to my spot, try writing some music, see if I'm inspired. If not, I'll go grab some food, just kind of waiting for that inspirational moment to hit me, where I feel like, okay, I'm awake enough, I'm in this mood enough, I can create. And then typically I'll do a couple, like we do a lot of podcasts, we do a lot of interviews and things like that, so I'll typically do one of those, and then 1 to 3 of those usually, whether it's just answering email questions or getting on video or phone calls. I'll typically do one of those, and then later in the night, that's when I start working, and I'll usually sit at my computer and just practice the keyboard or make beats or write music, like pretty much for the rest of the night. Sometimes just to get a little bit of inspiration, I'll link up with someone in my circle, someone in my creative circle, and we'll go grab drinks, or we'll go get coffee, or we'll go to like a hookah lounge just to get some like creative things going. And that's something that actually hit me later on in my career. I actually never did that before, but I did realize that like I have to see certain things, I have to take in certain emotions for me to be my best creative.
Wow, that's really interesting to hear.
I have a boring day, to be honest with you, bro.
Yeah. So the third question I have for you, Rowlan, is how was the meeting set up with Gary Vee, and how was that experience for you?
Yeah, so the meeting was set up because Gary Vee reached out because he heard my music, and he's like, I would love to sit down with you. And I wasn't that familiar with his stuff yet, but I was just like, I know this dude has a lot of pull, and I know he's dope at what he does. Yeah. So we set up a meeting, and we ended up missing each other. I was supposed to go out to New York and meet with him, and I went out to New York, and I was living in LA at the time, and as I flew over, last second, he flew out to LA for a last minute speech he had to do. And it was just like, we missed each other. Then 2 weeks later, he came out to LA when I was back in LA, and he's like, hey, come through my hotel. And we ended up doing like an hour and a half just chilling and just kind of vibing out. And to my surprise, when I got there, he had the cameras rolling and everything, and he put me on his fucking vlog and everything. So that was a huge jump in my career, fan base wise, and it really got me plugged in with a lot of the right people that I'm connected with now.
Yeah.
It was dope, though. Honestly, it was just about energy. I wasn't looking to get anything out of that. I wasn't even looking to be there for advice. I wasn't even there to ask advice. I just wanted to see what his energy's like and just kick it with him. And, you know, obviously things came out of it, but it was more of just like, let's meet each other. Let's see what the energy's like, you know?
Yeah. All right. To be honest with you, like I discovered you off the Monday to Monday playlist, Born Hustler #1 song. I love that song. Yeah. Did you notice like a huge change after Born Hustler was placed on the Monday to Monday playlist on like all your social media platforms, or?
I would say no, just because of the simple fact that when I first made Born Hustler, he wasn't even doing the Monday to Mondays yet, so that was like not really established yet when I first made the song for him and started pushing it. The biggest jump for me was when he put my link in his bio, and all his bio said for I think a day or two or something, like it was like I don't know how long it was. It was like 1 or 3 days. I don't know how long, but all his bio said was Rowlan's new song with a finger. I'm like, that is an insane shout out beyond anything I could ask for. But I will say the playlist, I wouldn't say that brought me a huge jump, just because I was already like, it was me when I first got on there. The playlist wasn't big. He didn't have as much reach on there and stuff. You know, he was just promoting me via his story and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So your music is not only meaningful but really motivational to me. What is your thought process when you're creating songs?
I guess it depends what kind of songs, just because I do try to be versatile. So I make a bunch of different type of music. I make like turn up songs. I make like motivational songs. I make like sad songs. I make like love songs. So it really depends going into it. But typically I'll just like, you know, I'll get a beat sent to me, or I'll make a beat, or I'll go online and get a beat, and I'll just like see where my mind takes the first couple of notes. And I'm just like, what market does this instrumental fit into? And then I'll just kind of run with it and start creating. You know, it's kind of crazy when the creation starts. There's no real thought process behind it. I just kind of, it just comes to me, you know. It's just like a natural, like the words just come to me. So that's all it really is, you know. And as I get more into my artistry, I'm learning of ways to make new cadences and flow different, and that's the part that I have to think about. But the words are just automatic, and the vibe is just pretty automatic.
Yeah. Okay. So Rowlan, do you typically write your songs out, or do you type them out, or do you just like, you know, chop them up?
So a lot of my songs lately have been just me recording on, like, I'll get the beat and then I'll start recording melodies. I'll just lay down a bunch of melodies, and then after I lay the melodies down, I'll go back and I'll fill in words in my head and fill it in lately. But my whole life I've always typed up all my lyrics on my phone.
Wow, that's interesting.
I use Evernote personally, because when I was young, Apple Music deleted 500 of my songs on the cloud somehow. They just went to thin air, and there was nothing I could do about it. So I have them on Evernote now, and they're backing up in the cloud always. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the next question is, Rowlan, what is the best advice you can give to a musician trying to grow in 2019?
Okay, I would say learn production. I would say the biggest thing is just stay organic, like stay yourself, just offer the world, like sure, have your influences, but just like give the world what you have to give the world, because no one else can give what you can to the world. So I would just say, you know, keep it organic to who you are, because we all have a reason that we're on this earth to be us. And oftentimes we get caught up and jaded by who's doing what and who made it here, how, and this and that. And it's very easy to fall into that. So I would just say, give the world whatever's true to you, and stay true to yourself, whether that's a nerd who's just sitting at home creating, making weird sounds. No matter what it is, just stay true to who you are, and, you know, be open to criticism, you know, take feedback, whether it's good feedback, whether it's bad feedback, and just run with it.
Awesome. So the next question and last question I have for you, what's in store for 2019 for you? So
far, we have about 4 tracks that are ready to drop as singles, and then we have at least 1 album, and I'm probably going to have visuals to every single. So that's what the goal is this year. Just drop a bunch of singles and a bunch of albums, and I'm going to do my first distribution through a record label, or not a record label, but a distribution company. So I'm going to do my first distribution deal, And so that should bring some big stuff in, but it's kind of running and gunning, you know. It's a bunch of trial and error, just like every other year, because I'm in a different mental than I was. So it's going to be a bunch of running and gunning and trial and error and seeing what works.
You're vlogging every day, which is completely different than what a lot of musicians do. Have you noticed growth on your YouTube channel as well as your music, or one or the other?
Yes, I haven't been putting them out as much. I've definitely been recording them, but I haven't been putting them all out. So when I do vlog, I'm not always putting them out. So I haven't really noticed much like that, but I've definitely seen the growth in my music for sure. That's for sure happened.
Perfect, man. I really appreciate you taking the time out.
Yeah.
You know, so that's it. But all right, bro. Well, good speaking with you.